Welcome to Psych for Psychology, a Nystrom & Associates podcast. Our host, Brett Cushing, is a licensed marriage and family therapist at Nystrom. Each week, he talks about all things mental health and therapy with guests, and you get a chance to dive into specific psychology topics that help promote personal development and wellness. And now, your host, Brett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Psyched for Psychology. I'm here today again with Krista.
Hello, I am psyched to be here.
Yeah, thrilled to have you here. And we're going to be talking about personalities today.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, we do resonate with each other on how complex we make things in psychology. And many people have taken personality tests and like hours to take them.
Yes.
And you need someone from NASA to explain the results
they have
to
fancy
you.
names.
Oh, yes.
We got the Myers-Briggs. We got the Big Five. It's very fancy.
Yeah, it's very fancy. And so we're going to talk about a lot of those and try to bring it all together in a very simplistic way. And I just thought of something for people. If people are listening and they want to do kind of a lay person version. You and I are talking about this as personalities for dummies.
For dummies, yeah, heck yeah. Personality 101.
We're going to keep this real and real simple.
Yes.
But there is a website to go to. My daughter told me about this. Really fun. We had a lot of fun doing this as a family. And it's 16personalities.com. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. I'm so glad you brought that up because that is a good resource. It's very user-friendly and
super easy.
Yeah,
and really relevant. But it's the number 16 personalities.
Okay, it's not 16 spelled out.
Yes.
Okay, great to know.
So we're going to make it even simpler than that because we're pretty simple people, simple folk here.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
That's a saying. No offense.
Oh, okay.
I take it back.
So we're going to talk about personalities and really three things. We want to talk about just what motivates people. There are really four different things that motivate people. And then we'll kind of get an idea of what motivates me. We just did this with some of our management leadership staff here at Nystrom, which was kind of fun.
It was fun.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And I'd like to add a little bit of what is the sort of mode of operation when that personality type is under stress. And then what do we do about this? So for people that are listening, I'm going to offer up four kind of personality motivational traits. What motivates you? And so you can do this as you're listening. What motivates you? And I try to keep these all sounding with the hard K sound,
great,
even though none of them start with K. So,
oh boy,
already making it confusing.
I'm trying to take notes.
So this will make more sense. Here's the first one. Some of us are motivated by quantity.
That's a K sound.
It is. Thank you. Some of us are motivated by quest. We're on some quest. We are super excited.
Like a mission, right?
Yes, give me a mission. I know when we did this, I gave the example of I want to go charge hell with a water pistol. Right? And so...
And multiple people were like, yes.
I know what you mean. Yeah, so some people are super motivated by quantity. They get that huge endorphin release as they're checking things off their lists. And then some of us are motivated by a quest. Give me something inspirational to go after. Others of us are motivated by connection. Connection with other people. That's super important for them. I need that connection. It's people are the priority. And then the last one is quality. So some of us are really super motivated by quality. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be done well. And they do everything really well. And that's what motivates them. And
that makes sense.
Sometimes they're kind of those perfectionistic people. And it's super motivating. That's kind of how they go through life. So
I'm just going to repeat them. So quantity. You're motivated by quantity. You're motivated by quest. You're motivated by connection. You're motivated by quality. So most people, is it that they have kind of their primary one that motivates them?
Yeah, really good point. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because some people might be listening and think, well, I don't know, it's a couple of these. And so one's likely going to be primary.
Perfect.
The other one's going to be maybe close. And you do have some people that,
they're spread, right?
There are 3 of these that really resonate. And so for me, there's 3 of them that kind of resonate a bit. But I do have one that's a primary. And... You know, you talked last time, that was a great idea when we were talking on our podcast on active listening.
Yes.
And you invited people to listen to that podcast and do that with somebody else and ask, hey, how am I doing with active listening?
My active listening,
This is a good one, too, to do this podcast listen to it with somebody. And if you don't know, ask somebody. And they will probably tell you and be pretty close to the mark.
Yes.
So... Let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at the first one.
Break it down.
Quantity. Some of us are motivated by quantity, and it is this sense of I want to get things done.
Okay.
And there's they like the to-do lists. They like to set their to-do lists. And another word for them is productivity.
Okay. So like the more things I can check off my to-do list, the better in a given day.
Right.
Like if I can just check things off, that's success for me. Right?
Exactly. And so you hear these people at the end of the day, they're feeling good.
Yeah.
Because I've been productive.
I got so much done today.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you got so much done today.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And that feels really good. It feels very validating for them in their personality, in their personhood. Like, okay, I'm okay because I got a lot done today.
Okay, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already like thinking of people in my life, you know, like who might be some of these primary types.
Yes, and that's great. We can think about that and sort of who are these people? The next one, what do we have next?
We have
Quest. Yes, Quest.
What was it? Charge hell with a water pistol?
Yeah, some of us are pretty excited.
I just like that.
To go charge hell with a water pistol, right? It's a noble cause.
Yeah, it's a noble cause.
Right? People can get on board, and these people are good at getting other people excited about a vision or some mission.
The enthusiasm is there.
Yes.
They're good at recruiting, kind of like getting people on board with a certain idea, right?
Yes.
Not to brag, but I think this one might be my primary.
I think so.
And I think I might have heard that it was yours too.
Yeah, it's definitely mine as well.
So we're going to spend the rest of the podcast talking about this one. No,
just about all of its strengths. It has no weaknesses.
It actually has no weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah, no, just kidding.
Or can we say weaknesses? I think it's growth opportunities.
Yes, areas for improvement.
Areas for improvement. Yeah, let's be honest. These are weaknesses, right? They really are. So that's okay, though.
Yes.
So that's the quest. And then some of us, it's connection.
Okay.
And these are the people who, in a work environment, they might be the ones sort of standing at the door, talking with people a lot, or you have people oftentimes coming to their door and talking to them because they might have good active listening skills, but we just talked about.
Right. And they're wanting to catch up on kind of what's been going on. They're willing to take the time to really, check in and hear about the day.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And because they're motivated by that sense of connection, other people feel that, and they're going to be drawn to that person.
Yep.
And they feel really good. It's a good day because I was able maybe to help somebody. I was able to listen, and that just feels really good. It's not so much the quantity; it's that connection that's important. And so you can see already there's going to be points of conflict because you can see a quantity person is going to be looking at their watch.
How many emails can I respond to today?
Right. Yeah. How many emails can I respond?
Yeah.
And not even concerned about the connection.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So they might not even like each other at times.
Yeah, they might. I can see how I'm already thinking some of these types might butt heads at times, but I'll let you keep going because we still have quality.
Okay, it sounds like you're kicking into quantity mode here. Do you have a little bit of quantity in you?
I need us to get through this list. No.
All right, well, let's do that. Yeah. The last one is quality. And these are people in their work environment. They need a lot of time to get things done because they're going to do one thing, they're going to do it really well, and then they will move on. And so they need a lot of extra time to make sure that this is like precise, this is accurate. So precision, accuracy, super important to them. Also, think about it. Their job description is really important to them because I got to know what's expected of me.
Good point.
So that I can do it well. If you tell me what's expected, I will make sure I do it.
Yep.
And so I think in a work situation, people need three things. They need to know what's expected of them. Mm-hmm. They need the resources to get it done, and they need feedback. Yeah. And these people, they're going to say, hey, I definitely need to know what's expected of me. And the resourcing for them is going to be time. So you can imagine you got somebody who's motivated by quality and their boss is motivated by quantity.
That's conflicting interests, right?
Right. If only everybody could be Quest like you and I, right?
Right. Exactly.
I don't even like myself sometimes. I drive myself nuts. Yeah. We can do that with people. Each one of these will drive others nuts.
Wow. This is so interesting because I'm even just thinking about, colleagues and coworkers, and I can see how it's so important to know a little bit about this. Like, not that you have to be some expert, but even just these 4 categories, right? Because what motivates me is not what motivates so-and-so. And therefore, if we can see how the other works, we're probably at a much more of an advantage, right?
Well, we are. And that's why we're really trying to keep this super simple is just quantity, quest, connection, and quality.
Yep. What
motivates you? And then you can sort of ask other people or ask yourself about other people. What motivates them? Like I could tell when you and I were meeting, I'm like, yeah, she's a high Q for Quest, right?
Quest,
but there's a positivity there. But that positivity can almost seem kind of empty and shallow to other people because other people will listen to us and they'll be like, yeah, lip service, or you're just being manipulative because you're trying to get my emotions. Right. And so there's this lack of trust sometimes because we're all about, let's go do this.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because even on our last podcast about active listening, I thought you did a really good job of bringing it back to what does this look like? How can we implement this? Right? Because, you can have as much enthusiasm in the world for a concept, but then there are going to be people listening who are like, okay, great. Like, it's exciting, but how do I do this?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think that's a great point is the Quest enthusiasm doesn't necessarily mean there's enough time or there's enough connection.
Well, let's go back to, there was an actual study done of people who charged hell with a water pistol. And I actually was the one leading the way. And
yes, of course you were. Yes.
Everybody was super excited, and everyone's chanting, we're all like halfway down to hell and we get there and everyone's really excited, but then there was some quality person. It's totally raining on my parade. And the person is like, hold on a second. And immediately, as soon as they say, hold on a second, I'm like, oh, man. Oh, no. This is like, what's there to hold on to? This is the best idea in the world. Yep. So immediately, I'm like, kind of roll my eyes and look at the quality person. And they say, you're the only one with a squirt gun. Nobody else has a squirt gun. And I noticed your squirt gun is only half full of water, and we have like no other water supply as we're going down to charge hell with a water pistol.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And I'm wanting to respond and say, why are you so negative?
Right.
This is the best idea. Yeah, right. You're holding all of us back. Yeah.
Yes. That's such a good example in that analogy. I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it's
so that's the quality person saying we need to have the equipment. We need to have the right? Is that what you're saying?
They're raining on my parade. Yeah, they're and I'm upset because they don't share my enthusiasm about the idea.
Right. And you're ready to go.
Yes.
Action. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So, and the connection person is listening to this, and they're like, "Okay, it's okay, everyone. Let's calm down.
Yes,
because there's conflict. Let's make a connection here.
Okay.
And I'm like, slow down. Yeah. And the quantity person is saying, slow down. What do you mean slow down? We've already committed. Let's get this done.
Going. Yes. And the connection person is thinking about the individual relationships and right?
Right.
And kind of saying like, okay, there's some people that need more information and there's people that aren't so sure about this. And,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you can see this, obviously, in a work situation. You can see this even during the holidays, when the family, an extended family come together.
Sure.
Some people are motivated by quantity, some quest, some connection.
Sure.
Some quality.
Yep.
So, and people communicate differently then too.
Mm-hmm.
Some people need more time to communicate. Some people communicate really quickly and, hey, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Which sort of leads me to what happens when we are under stress.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So when we are under stress, what motivates us is these wonderful things, these wonderful motivators. But now we have the dark side come out a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
And so the quantity person, when they are under stress, they are going to go into autocratic mode. So these all start with A. Okay.
Oh, this is so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I've got my
Took
notes
me
here.
like years to come up with this, but they're motivated by their A word is autocratic.
Okay.
And so why do you think that is? Why do they go autocratic?
What does autocratic mean?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Because I know you know, but some people listening may not.
Right.
So.
I definitely know.
So it's like an autocratic government. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is what needs to get done. Come on, let's go.
It's more rigid?
It's much more rigid.
Okay.
And it's telling people what to do and what needs to done or needs to be done. And
okay, sure.
So they ramp it up.
Yep.
And that's what it means to be autocratic.
Thank you.
And so thank you for asking the question.
Yes.
Why do you think they become autocratic?
Okay, so quantity has to do with, so I think it
to-do lists.
Yeah, to-do lists, exactly. So it must be like, I'm locking this down. Like I'm doubling down on my need to get a bunch of stuff done. Therefore, I'm going to shorten my communication and just be like, stick to the stick to the law of the land and be
I love that.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, because notice the focus is on the task that needs to get done.
Sure.
And the focus is off of the people.
There you go. Oh, this is so helpful already. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So I have some of this in me.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Okay. Sure.
I call it the doer mode because I'm just do.
Yep.
And I'll say to my wife, I'm cleaning the house and it needs to be done like at such and such time. It drives her nuts because she's like, we get the whole weekend. Let's get it all done. And I'm like, no, it's going to be done from 9:05 to 9:46 in 30 seconds. So I go into doer mode and I'm like vacuuming and I'm like picking everything up. I'm slamming the dishes because I'm going so fast. I'm not angry. It's just so fast.
You're in doer mode. Yep.
And we know what it's like to be around people who are in that mode.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if I'm stressed and I'm falling behind, everything ramps up and I'll have to say to her, I'm sorry, it's not you. I'm just in my doer mode. I just want to get this done.
Go. That's so, and the fact that you can communicate that is great because I can see how people would be like, hello, like, I'm here. Like, why are you rushing around and kind of ignoring the others here? And because like you said, the focus is the task.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's off of the person. And so in a work environment or in a family, you have somebody, stress happens. Mm-hmm. And so they go into this mode and everyone's sort of off put. And you had a very gracious response, like, hello, I'm here. Some people are more like, hey, don't be such a
like, why are you being
jerk.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
or bossing us around
bossing us around, barking orders.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so that's, if we have that personality type that's motivated by quantity, when we are under stress, we go into autocratic mode. Now, for the most fun, the quest people, right?
Once again, no, just kidding. I'm actually super curious because I'm learning this like in live real time too. So I'm like, what is?
Oh, I don't. To be honest, I don't want to say it because it's like embarrassing.
Say it.
It's true. It's embarrassing.
Okay, I'm ready to be embarrassed.
All right, it starts with A.
A.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Attack.
No! Say it ain't so.
I'm sorry. It's attack.
All right.
We attack.
I'll hear you out.
Okay, so
so attack.
When we are feeling good, we're motivated, and let's go back to charge hell with a water pistol.
Yeah, we've got our quest, we've got our mission, we're enthusiastic.
Yes, great ambitious goal. Even the quantity people are on board, right?
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, let's do it, and then let's get back this afternoon. And
right.
But the quality people might say, like, hey, wait a second, we don't have enough supplies. Have we really thought this out? What's the plan? We should let's stop.
Backtrack here. Yep.
I take that personally.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm getting
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I saw the light bulb go on for you. So I'm taking it personally because for me, the quest is a personal endeavor.
Yes, it means something to you.
Absolutely.
So it is personal.
It's very personal to me. And I'm not going to go on some quest for something that's kind of boring and blasé.
Right. That doesn't mean something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that totally clicked.
There is so much emotion I have invested in this. And then when somebody stops, I take it as a personal attack.
Yep.
And I respond in kind.
Yes.
And I want to attack back.
Sure. Be like, you don't support me.
Right.
I mean, I'm just brainstorming, but I can see it being something like...
Not that you and I have ever done that.
Never. But I can imagine how someone might say, you don't back my ideas, or you're dragging us down, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you being so critical of me? So
don't you believe in me? Yep.
Yeah. Why don't you believe in me?
Yeah.
Right. It's not even about the people all become who are motivated by quantity. They're all about the task and they forget about the people.
Sure.
And the personalities. The quest people, when we're stressed, it's all about the personality, namely my personality. Yeah. And it's not even about the task as much now.
Yep.
All right. So now we have
autocratic, we have attack. So connection people.
Connection. Yeah. It took me a while to come up with an A word for this.
Okay.
And this one we'll probably have to define too. Might even need a spell check as you write it down. Acquiesce.
Ooh, actually, I think I do know how to spell that.
I'm going to watch you write it down here. And
I got close.
I think you're really close. I don't even know myself.
I got the first part.
Okay.
Acquiesce. That means to defer to.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to let you have your way.
You have your way. Yep.
So I acquiesce to you.
It's sort of like like when you're merging on to the on ramp. And you see the yield sign, which means you're letting the other person go ahead of you. That's to acquiesce. You're always letting somebody else go. Oh,
that makes so much sense. Yes.
So
if connection is your primary thing with others, then you're to preserve the relationship.
Yes.
To see how you would be like, okay, you know what? Let's do this your way because it's more important to me to have a relationship be good with you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
You got
I have some of this too.
I know. Yeah.
I'm primary is quest, but then probably next would be connection for me.
It is. Yeah. And so what we tend to do is for those of us that are in connection mode, we prioritize the other personality and the other person ahead of ourselves. So we deny ourselves, we defer to the other person.
Yes.
And then we actually get a little bit disgusted later.
Like,
why did I do that?
How come I always give them their way?
Yeah.
Or we might feel a little resentful.
We do feel resentful because we sort of have this ability to connect and know exactly how everybody feels.
Yes.
These people can walk into a room and they know exactly how everybody feels in the room and what everybody needs except for one person. Themselves. Yeah. And so they expect everybody else to be able to do this. And so they can't figure out when I sigh like this, obviously it means you need to come give me a hug or you got to give me some validation or something. Yeah. And nobody's picking up on all my very clear cues.
Yes.
So they tend to acquiesce, but it comes back in passive aggressiveness.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's say that Brett says we're going to charge hell with a water pistol.
Yes.
And he's the quest enthusiasm, let's go, we've got a mission. And let's say that I'm the connection person. I'm under stress. Yes. I'm going to think to myself, well, this is really important to Brett. I really want him to know how much I support him. Yeah. So I'm going to go along or do this, but I have maybe some reservations about it. And I'm not so sure. But the relationship with Brett, I want to make sure he has, he knows I'm right? Is that kind of
and I get a little bit bitter about this because I tried to let Brett know I don't think this is a good idea. Which really wasn't direct communication with Brett.
Sure. It was maybe are you sure? is this the right time? But not very direct.
You know what, though?
What?
I can find other people who are a little bit disgruntled, and I can go, quote, listen to them. And now we got gossip going on.
Sure, like, wow, did you hear about this water crystal thing?
Right.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's just tap water, too. Can you believe that? I mean,
we have
finding
one
anything.
Water crystal in tap water.
Right. So you see the passive aggressiveness.
Yep.
So that takes us to the last one, which is quality.
Mm-hmm. So your priority is quality. Yes.
And things are going to be done with precision. They're going to be done with accuracy.
Mm-hmm. Time.
Yeah, give me time. And these people, if you give them time, they will deliver.
They will deliver
best.
Yep.
And not just once in a while, but all the time.
It's consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're under stress, though, and a lot of times it's because they don't have time or they feel people are pressuring them to get too much done too quickly, they avoid.
Ooh, yep.
You know how to spell that one, right?
That one I mostly can spell, yes.
So, they avoid.
Okay.
So they know, like, hey, I didn't get this done. Yeah. And, here comes my boss to talk about it. And I'm so upset and I'm so stressed because I know he or she expects this to be done now. So I'm going to conveniently
not be available.
Leave my office, put on my do not disturb. Yeah, they like their door closed a lot.
Sure, because they're trying to get this quality work done.
Yeah, think about the door. That's kind of fun.
We're back to the door. This is great.
Right,
good
quality.
Analogy.
Quality and quantity people. They're going to have their doors closed more.
Oh wow! Yes, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
because they're trying to get stuff done. They're trying to get it done well.
Yeah,
and that's their priority. So there's not time for chit chat.
Quest people, their door's going to be open. Hopefully for the people that agree with them.
Yeah. And are on board.
And then the connection people, it's always open.
Yes.
And sometimes they're standing outside looking for somebody to connect with.
Right. No, this is great. Yep.
So clearly you can see there isn't one of these that is the best.
Correct.
They are all really important.
Yes. And so once you kind of have an idea of how you operate, I mean, is the idea just to have kind of self-awareness, and that's the main. I mean, already just talking about these has been very helpful, honestly, to me.
Well, I'm thrilled. It's super practical, and we want to be mindful. We've talked about mindfulness on the podcast. That's just being aware, like you're saying, absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's more than that.
Okay,
because I want to be intentional. Intentional about what? I want to be intentional in seeking out these other personality types because they all balance me.
Okay.
Right. So I'll give you an example. When my wife and I first met, she's more quantity and quality motivation. Okay.
Sure.
And so I'm more quest and connection. I can get into quantity mode, but and so you can see totally opposite. And the irony is the research bears it out. Opposites attract.
Yes.
So most people do marry their opposites. And here's how it played out for us. We were doing this long distance relationship thing. About an hour. She was in Milwaukee. I was in Chicago.
Okay.
And then we'd meet halfway and we were going to spend the day together and plan out the wedding. And I was so excited to see her. Lots of enthusiasm. So I was like, hey, how are you? And I want to hug. And like, let's just hug some more, and let's keep hugging. And how are you? This is so great. And she'd be like, okay, so like we have to today, we need to figure out who's going to do the hors d'oeuvres. We got to make phone calls for this, and we got to get this done.
Yeah, we have a busy agenda today. Yes.
And what am I doing? I'm like, if she could, and I'm not certain she was thinking this, I could see where she would be like,
sure.
What is his problem? Doesn't she realize we have all this to do?
We have too much to do.
And we don't have enough time.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, does she not care? She says, she says she misses me, and then we get together, and like she's into this mode.
Yes.
Oh man! And so even though that was the case, we weren't mindful that hey, she brings this to the table. Hey, he brings this to the table.
Sure.
And not mindful nor intentional to try to validate that. So even when we had to work through a lot of this and understand like, so that's important to you. So, so when I forget to take the garbage out, that's a big deal for you, right? Because for me, it's like, it's fine. We'll do it, next week, whatever. Yeah.
But it is a task.
It is a task.
Yeah.
And it's not done well. And I'm thinking, well, it's not worth breaking our connection over.
There you go.
And she's like, connection? What do you mean? Of course we're connected. It's just super frustrating.
Yes. Okay.
So we had to work on this and realize, I need you.
Right. And then balance each other out, it sounds like, too.
Yeah.
Because in that way you have all the superpowers.
Yes.
You just have to figure out how they work together.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is the 7-year itch. This is my theory. There's no research on this. It just seems kind of intuitive. Like you see a couple come together like this.
Yes.
And then they're like, they love each other. And the first couple of years, it's like, okay, cool. But the honeymoon's starting to fade and you're starting to get a little irritated.
Yep.
Because the other's not like you.
Yes.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
Because I can change this person.
Yes.
And I can make them. I was drawn to this person because they're so opposite from me.
Yes, exactly.
And then I'm like, ooh, this is kind of irritating. Not a problem.
Not a problem.
I can fix her. I can fix him. And then by years 2, 4, 5, it's like, I can't fix this person. They're not changing. What's wrong with them?
What's wrong with them? Yep.
And so there's the strengths we were drawn to are sort of eclipsed in our own mind by the weaknesses that we see. And that's all we focus on, and we forget the corresponding strength.
Yes.
And we forget that, there's this about this person too.
Yes.
And so by year 5, we're like frustrated because all we're thinking about is the negative.
Yep.
And then we're looking for the escape plan by year 7. That's the 7-year itch, according to my theory.
No, I think that's a very astute observation.
It's just kind of intuitive.
Yes, right.
And the really unfortunate thing is the two people actually really do love each other. Mm-hmm. And there's just, they're not mindful that, hey, I'm this way, she or he's this way.
Right.
I need to be intentional when I see a negative, highlight in my mind, this is the positive.
Right.
So am I this super impulsive, irresponsible person that doesn't take out the garbage? Or am I this charismatic, can-do, positive kind of guy?
Yes, good call.
It's a both and.
It's a both and. That is so important.
I'm a package deal.
It's not like, oh, now I'm stuck with this person who's way too different from me. It's like we each have different strengths, and how can we put those together and work with each other? No, that's brilliant. I love that.
So hopefully we've been able to accomplish what we talked about, is just understanding our motivations, what it's like when we're under stress, and the need to bring balance in how we interact with people and really value what each other brings.
Yes.
We need that in work. We need that at home. We need that everywhere.
We need that everywhere. Wow. So I'll be thinking about this, and thinking about the people in my life and thinking, gosh, I wonder what their primary motivation is. Mm-hmm. So for those of you listening, if you listen to it with someone else, or if you are just listening by yourself, think about what your type might be and what people close to you might be. Right. Food for what?
And if people, for extra credit,
I love it.
Throwing this out there at no extra charge for the listeners.
Bonus material.
Yeah. If you've realized that you have focused more on the negative than the positive, which is totally easy. Mm-hmm. We all do it. For some extra credit, go to that person and just let them know, hey, you know what? I've been focusing just too much on the negative with your personality, and I've forgotten to value all the strengths you bring too. Yep. And we can do that not only with our partners and our coworkers, we can even do that with ourselves, because we can focus so much on our negative and forget the positive in our own self-talk that we're not even aware of.
Good point. Another great point, people. Brett Cushing, everybody.
Hey, go have fun with this. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah. We'll meet again real soon. Have a great day.
Thank you as always for listening, and please be sure to leave us a review. While this podcast can't be a replacement for therapy, we hope you enjoyed our discussion today and join us again next time. Nystrom & Associates is always available to those who are struggling. If you find yourself in need of support and help, please check us out at nystromcounseling.com.